Dave Canales told the media, Dave Canales, head coach, Carolina Panthers, told the media yesterday they are not considering trading Bryce Young. Is it rude to say, I don't believe you, Dave? Is that mean?
Well, they're not maybe actively shopping him.
I don't believe that either.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Keep in mind, this comment, we are not considering Bryce Young, comes to you from the same person that brought us Bryce Young is our quarterback on Sunday. And then on Monday turned around and said he was the decision maker that said Bryce Young is benched.
Yeah.
So
gathered more information, things can change.
So, okay, maybe it wasn't a lie. Maybe it was a swift changing of the mind. But either way, we have more time between Dave Canales yesterday telling the media that they're not considering Bryce Young and right now than there was between Bryce Young telling everybody Dave Canales telling everybody Bryce Young was the quarterback and when we knew that he was benched. So I'm not even going to entertain the option that the Panthers are against trading Bryce Young. Maybe they haven't made the calls to other teams, but if they haven't, I believe that's just a negotiating tactic, right? Because if right now, if the Panthers called up Miami and said, hey, you're having quarterback problems, we've got a former number 1 overall pick that we don't love, makes the Panthers seem maybe a little desperate, and that's going to give the Dolphins the leg up in the negotiation. So maybe they're not making the calls, but they're hoping the calls come in. I mean, right now, Dan Morgan is a he answers on the first ring kind of guy. If you have a area code that happens to host any other NFL team and that ring pops up on Dan Morgan's phone, he's a first ring kind of guy right now. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? This was a Vegas area code?
Yes, we'll take a fifth.
This was a Vegas area code? What's up, man? How's it going, Pierce? A couple of linebackers here. Let's chat. The hard part about deciding whether you want to trade Bryce Young or not at this point is it's not like just about any other option, any other industry where you can go type in the parameters and it'll give you a price. There is no Kelly Blue Book value for a quarterback, right? You can't I could go in and go, all right, Jeep Patriot 2015 silver LS Altitude Edition, and then Kelly Blue Book's going to kick back, hey, this many thousands of dollars. That's your price. So then when you go to trade it in or sell it or whatever, you know how much money you should get for that car. How hilarious would it be if there was a website somewhere that you could type in quarterback 5'10", 184, former number 1 overall pick, 18 games of mileage,
65 sacks,
confidence low, and it would just kick back like, all right, you should get a 4th rounder for it, and then you know where to start, but that doesn't exist. And you could tell me who was it earlier today? Victoria Vodenecker, who produces the Adam Gold Show, asked me, what would it take for you to accept a trade for Bryce Young? Like, what's the lowest number you would take? Mm-hmm. And I was like, gosh, I don't. At some point, that it's just too low to matter, right? It's like if I took in a car and someone was like, I'll give you $20 for it, even if I'm never going to use that car again, I'm probably just going to keep it because it's like, $20, right? Like it's I might as well just keep the car. Maybe someone else will give me more for it someday. So if I go in and I'm shopping Bryce Young and someone's like, I'll give you a conditional 6th, I think I'll just keep it. Like I might as well just keep it. But then I had this brought to my attention, and it opened my eyes. I just had forgotten about it. Do you remember Josh Rosen?
Yes, former Arizona Cardinals.
He was the 10th overall pick.
That's right.
UCLA
Steve Wilkes
quarterback.
is the head coach.
You're right. He played 1 year in Arizona before getting traded. Mm-hmm. So fairly close to when the Panthers would be looking to trade Bryce Young now. Played 1 year, got traded. They then drafted with the number 1 overall pick, Kyler Murray, to replace him. The rest is history. If I told you that he was traded straight up for a 5th-round pick, would you believe me?
For Josh Rosen?
Yeah. After he busted that first year.
No.
He got a 2nd and a 5th.
Yeah.
If you would have told me he got traded for like a third rounder 2 years in the future, I'd have been like, yeah, okay. He got a second and a fifth. He was the 10th overall pick. I believe the third or fourth, maybe fifth quarterback taken. And he got a second. And if someone off, I just have to say this. My number for Bryce Young was significantly lower than that. But knowing that's Josh Rosen, I think it should be higher. That's the price for a busto top round pick quarterback after 1 year. What about this? Chase Daniel. You remember Chase Daniel, Missouri quarterback, bounced around the NFL for a decade plus, backup quarterback mostly. He was on Fox Sports where he works now. He's doing the media thing. He drew up maybe the most ludicrous trade I've ever seen in my life.
All right.
3-way trade.
Go on.
Involves the Rams, the Dolphins, and the Panthers.
Go on.
Stafford to the Dolphins.
Okay.
Bryce to the Rams.
Okay.
And a second and third rounder to the Panthers.
Okay.
Which, if you deconstruct that trade a little bit, it says that the Rams just traded Matt Stafford and a third for Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you have to get the third team involved in that one. You offer up Stafford and a third to the Panthers? Yes.
Sign me up.
The answer is yes. If you offer a second and a third in this big deal, I don't think you understand how foolish this trade is. But if people are talking about it, maybe my price is too low. And if my price is too low, I'm thinking a fourth rounder gets it done. If someone offers a fourth rounder and they're willing to take on the rest of Bryce Young's contract, I think that gets it done. But if there's anyone offering a second plus, not only will Dave Canales say we're considering it, they will accept it. Actions speak louder than words. They're out on Bryce Young. No matter what they say. We have Dave Canales play the audio for him. Dave Canales was asked if he still believes Bryce is a franchise guy. He took a minute, he thought about it, and then he answered the question like this.
This is a developmentally minded program, so the development didn't stop. Every rep he's out there, we're evaluating the whole thing, having conversations, and just continuing to push all of our guys, including Bryce, to take that next step. Every day is a growth possibility and opportunity, so we're fully committed to that.
They're fully No, they're not.
Fully committed to it while he's here.
Sure. If he's here and he wants to put in work after practice, we'll allow him to use our equipment. He's not taking any reps with the ones. He's not playing in games. But if he wants to use the weight room after hours, feel free. Like if you believed he could be a franchise guy, he'd still be out there on the field. You're open to trading him if the number is right. And if the number is anything like what the Cardinals got for Josh Rosen, you're accepting it. And you're doing so quickly.
I hope if they do trade him, if that's the route they're like, you know what, this is the route we're going to go, I hope there's there's a full plan involved in terms of who we're going to go after in terms of either free agent or draft, whatever it is. Like, there has to be a plan in place. I hope it's not just let's just trade him, then figure it out, if that makes sense. Like, hey, we know, like, we can take this third round pick and we can package that to move to trade for someone, whatever it might be. I think they need to make sure that they have the larger plan in place, and trading him is a piece of that larger plan, if that makes sense.
I'm with it. I also think if you're out on Bryce, you're out on Bryce. Like,
true.
Like if your plan A falls through, like, are you feeling any better about your situation because you can go back to Bryce? I just don't know. I think they're out. And I think they would take, their money back. Just get that off the salary cap.